To officially start off, we once again have with us Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair, Chair of IEEE India Council. Dr. Suresh has more than 120 publications, 18 patents, co-authored 3 books and more than 200 technical reports to his name. He has been conferred with many awards, including IEEE Outstanding Researcher Award, DST Lockheed Martin Award 2014 for the top innovation as ranked #1 in India, BB Bhalija Award, IEEE Award, to name a few. Under his leadership, many novel products in healthcare, communication, and other domains are finding excellent market acceptance globally. It is an absolute honor and privilege for me to invite Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair to share his experience of organizing big and flagship conferences.
Thank you. Thank you, Dina. So I would like to share my screen. I think it's possible. One minute. Is it visible now? Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to give this talk. This is basically on organizing big and flagship conferences. So let us get on to the business now. The first thing is, like as it was explained earlier, we need to submit a proposal. So because normally we will be expecting flagship conferences which are all supported by IEEE, MGA or R10 and things like that, or even India Council. So we need to submit a proposal. That's the first step. And this, it has to be an excellent and impressive proposal, because many teams will be proposing to take up such flagship conferences, because these are all prestigious conferences. So when we submit a proposal, we have to make sure that our proposal will stand different. Okay, so in that way, I will explain how to do. So this is the first step. And the next one is you need to identify the theme. This is very important. The theme shall be current one or futuristic and forward. Not take some theme of very old one, because it has to be very much interesting to the participant. And instead of, there are a few flagship conferences where they are all specific to some areas. They are all very, for example, communication only. So there are a few conferences which are like that. But when we go from IEEE in a generic way, the theme can be little generic, so that we can get large number of papers. This is also very important. It has to be very current and futuristic, as well as we need to get a lot of participants. So these are also one important thing. So we can make it little generic, and we need to identify the tracks. Even now, which are the tracks, so that we can expect from which are the areas we can get the papers as well as participants. Okay, so once you do this, then the proposal has to be prepared. So what are the things to be included? It should include the theme, as I said, how to identify the theme. The next one is the date when the conference will be held. This we need to consider with no conflict with other major conferences. We cannot come up with a flagship conferences in our region where there is some other flagship conference happening somewhere else nearby. So you have to be very careful. You have to do a very good homework, and then you come up with a date so that there is no conflict with other editions. And also we need to give preference to some of the previous editions, because some of the conferences are already having some pre-schedule. In November this will happen, or December this will happen, or June this will happen. So we cannot change that. So you need to do a homework on that. Then while giving the proposal itself, you need to identify the venue, okay, where you are going to hold this one, which will, you have to show the facilities with impressive photos, because the people who are going to evaluate this proposal, they are not going to come here. So we need to give enough and adequate information so that, that should give an idea about, okay, what are things to be done. They have a very good venue. They have already selected the date and things like that. So you need to have impressive photos of the facilities at the venue, connectivity, how people can connect, because flagship conferences, normally international conferences, so people have to come. You cannot tell that you have to get down here and then take another 6 hours of journey by bus or by road and things like that. Then it becomes a little inconvenient. Logistics for international delegates, which airport they have to come from, other international airport like Singapore, Dubai and all, how to get connected, because those are all the major connecting areas, connecting airports. So you need to specify all those things. Auditorium and conference rooms. So you have an idea about how many people are going to come. So you need to identify, are there any enough auditoriums for plenary talks, for various sessions? So because you are going to identify some tracks. So you need to identify all those things. You have to justify the capacity. For example, if 2,000 people are going to come, so you have to show an auditorium. You have to select a venue where 2,000 people plus some more guests can be accommodated. Then conference rooms for parallel sessions. You may have 5, 6, or 10 parallel sessions. So you have to identify those rooms and take photographs and add in the proposal. Then hotels around the venue. So you have to start from 5-star to lower economical. Then you have to mention how many 5-star hotels are there, how many rooms can be made available, number of rooms available, so that you can give various categories, so that the people, depending on their what eligibility or whatever they want to, wherever they want to stay, they will select that. So we have to give, and also we have to mention the rates. It can be a typical rate. You can mention that, okay, they will get some concessional rates for this type of conferences. You need to have an idea of expected registrants. How many people are going to come for this conference, even when you are preparing the proposal. The proposed registration fee. What is the registration fee you are going to charge? Now I am talking about physical conferences. So this shall not be very high, but should meet expenses too. So it is a little tricky thing. You cannot put very high registration fee, then people will not come. Then it should not be so low, then you will not be able to meet the expenses. Your level of conference will naturally come down. So that thing we have to take care of. Proposed session, which are the sessions you are planning to do. Then you need to give a rough budget, financial workout. So in that, you need to show that there will be surplus fund generated. So when you want somebody, for example, Region 10 or MGA to sponsor, it should not happen like finally Region 10 and MGA and other sponsor, the authorities, they have to fund the conference. Okay, you have to show that you will be creating or generating surplus fund. So that is what we have to show. Maybe through sponsorship and various ways of. Other attractions, you have to say, when people are coming, international guests are coming, they are not only coming for just the conference and go back. They would also like to see the places around. They are coming as a tourist, okay? So you need to put some of those places around and add some pictures, to suit the taste of various people. Some people wanted the beaches, some people wanted other type of boats and things like that, hill station, whatever. You can put all those things you have to put. Then also you have to put potential sponsors. You may not put exactly who will be the sponsors, but you can tell that these type of sponsors from these industries may be there. So all those things you have to put in the proposal. So preparing a proposal itself is a good job. This depends on the proposal, will depend on whether you are going to get the conference or not. Then list conferences successfully conducted by this section. So these are also very important, because you have to show them that we are all capable of organizing such conferences. So that is the idea behind. Okay. So with that, let us move on to the preparations. So let us assume that the conference is allotted to your section. then preparations have to start. Minimum 1 full year of active preparation required for these type of flagship conferences. Okay, it may start in a very low pace, but as time goes by, you have to go in a very high momentum. Then one more suggestion is like attend previous editions, and this will give very good insights on. I will take an example of TenCon 2019, so that theoretical thing. So how we implement that also I will be showing in the subsequent slides here. So it is better you attend those previous conferences. You can write to them, the organizers. They will, sometimes waive the registration fee, and also you can go find out how many people are coming, what level the conference is held, and things like that. You can understand the level of conference, the preparations, plans, what they do. Also collect contacts, distribute brochures. The contacts, the people who are attending the previous edition, you can get the contacts of these people, and this will be very much useful for you. And also you prepare some brochures for your conference and distribute to the attendees there. Hello. I request other people to put on mute so that. Okay. So, and also you have to present a short video to attract participants. This we have done in TenCon 2018. We were there and we prepared a short video of what will be the TenCon 2019, and then we showed a short video to the participants during their, the dinner time, the gala dinner time, so that people will look at that one. So you have to make it so attractive so that you will force the participants to come and attend. As I said, instead of theoretical thing, it is very difficult to teach anyone like what has to be done to prepare for the conferences. It is only when you go through the experience you will learn a lot. So regarding TenCon, this is what the flagship conference we were talking about. There was a competitive bidding every year, and this year also when we were bidding at that time also there were a lot of bidders, and we could win this conference. And last time before that, when we were conducting, the Hyderabad section had this in 2008, long back when the TenCon was not of this grand scale. IEEE Kerala section was finally interested with hosting TenCon 2019 after winning the most recent bid in 2018. That's what I'm going to talk about. So we wanted to know where were these earlier conferences, same TenCon conferences were held. You see, in 2014 it was in Thailand, Bangkok, Macau in China, 2016 in Singapore, 2017 in Penang in Malaysia, and 2018, that is the previous conference to ours, was in Jeju Islands, South Korea. So that is, if you look at their venues and all, it is really grand venues. So what we did was, like, as I said, before going for, when we started the bidding, we planned the venue as Hotel Le Meridian, Kochi. That was one of the best hotel where we had a lot of conferences. That is what the limit for us at that point of time. There were no other hotel which is bigger than this Le Meridian. So that's what we proposed. And what we did was, as I said, it is always better to go and visit the earlier conferences. So I wanted to acknowledge Dr. Samir. He was the chair of Kerala section. So he was invited as a member there, as a participant there, and he was an invitee to this TenCon 2018. But still, being an organizing chair, I also was allowed by the EXICOM to just go and see together, so that you get an idea how this is going to be there. So that is how in a lighter way, I joined him like Dasan and Vijay did in one of the movie. Okay, so I joined him and we went together. And when we went there, TenCon 28, the Jeju Island venue was like this. It was a Ramadan Inn, and you can see such a beautiful place there. And after attending TenCon 2018, we decided to shift the venue to Grand Hyatt Kochi. So that is what the information we got. If we are planning to host or have the conference in places like Le Meridian, it may not be to that level which TenCon 28 was. So that was the one of the decision which we took at that time, but it complicates the whole thing. So this is what the hotel Grand, here Grand Hyatt Hotel. You can see that it was just coming up, and fortunately it was completed when we had to have that TenCon 2019. Normally, I wanted to emphasize this one. Normally, any conference organizers will look at auditoriums associated with universities, colleges. We will go for small hotels because, then the expenses will be very much limited. So it is within our reach, okay? So, but my humble suggestion is like, if you are going for flagship conferences, please don't look at that. Go for big things. We cannot degrade the standard of any conferences which is now being held as a series. Okay, so I always suggest, even though we were also considering so many university campuses, colleges, auditorium, they are really good, but still it will not match with such a conference venue, which is of course very, very expensive. Now, one more thing which I always used to tell is like, we have to always think big. If we would have thought like, okay, we can have it in a small auditorium, let TenCon 28 be like this, but 29 can be small. We should not think. We have to always think big. Whatever we are going to organize should be better than the previous thing. So I used my corporate lessons. I have to really acknowledge Dr. Samir because he is in charge as section chair, but he has given enough freedom. And we were discussing together almost every day, every hour, how to make it very good. So he has given freedom. That's how I thought like we should use some of the lessons from my corporate, and he also used some of his tactics which he will explain later. So we think big on everything, whatever you think. Food, think big. Speakers, think big. Inauguration, think big. Set target and try to achieve that. This is what is very important. If you think low, you will achieve, but it will be like that. So if you think very high and set target, I think and try to achieve that, it is possible. Have plan A and B. If A doesn't work, what is the plan B? It is available. For example, today's inauguration, Sharda ma'am is supposed to inaugurate. They had another plan. They called me. Can she is having some inconvenience. So can you inaugurate? That is a plan B. So that is how you have to have in everything. For example, budget we are putting. If we are unable to meet the budget, what to do? So all those things have plan A and B. Very important is teamwork. And as an individual, nobody will be able to do anything. So you have to have a teamwork. It is only motivation we can give. Personal touch in everything you have to give as an organization. Close monitoring. This is very, very important. You cannot tell that somebody will do and just leave it. You have to closely monitor, help them, and don't criticize them. But motivation can be, criticism can be in other ways. Okay. Then regular reviews, inclusive decision, that is very important. It's not like you are going to take a decision. You may have some idea, but listen to others. They have better ideas in most of the cases. So you do in that way. Then take all government approvals for foreign participants is very important. Ministry of Home Affairs, you have to get a lot of approvals and all, so that you have to get prepared, you have to submit application, follow them and things like that. One example is like, when a foreigner comes as a tourist, he's not supposed to attend a conference. He should come as a business traveler. So these things, otherwise we had a lot of issues and which we could solve that. Then the next one is the International Advisory Committee you have to prepare. Then organizing committee, honorary chair, general chair, organizing chairs. So many people are there. These are all chairs you try to identify and then give freedom to these chairs to select their team members. One example I will just tell. Professor Lilikuti Madam was in charge of the technical program committee, and it was the full freedom given by all of us, and she has taken the responsibility. I remember I never used to have to ask anything. It was a complete from call for papers to execution of the program. She was running from rooms to room. So that is how you select people in that way, so that they will do up their own. No need to interfere in that. They have all matured enough to come up with their own wisdom. Technical program committee, TPC has to start with call for papers first. Website has to be ready. Receive papers, process them, and use some electronic system so that it can be reviewed by reviewers. then all those things. So this you have to be little careful. You have to look at some of the such platforms are very expensive. So you have to select in such a way that it's not very expensive, but still it will do the job. This time we have selected a very economical platform, and it had created some problem for the TPC, but it was all overcome by the team. Then TPC committee has to identify the right session chairs, plenary talks, invited talks, a lot of things which are very sensitive, because the people with whom we are dealing are very high technically educated and at a very high level, so you have to go very smoothly. Then manage the complete technical program. That was done by TPC. Publicity, very important. You have to make short videos and present in various forums and conferences. Most of the conferences will allow that. Prepare brochures, leaflets, and arrange to disperse in other conferences. Collect registration details of previous conference attendees. Contact them, send a notification on regular basis, and also an initial budget be prepared. See, this is what I just wanted to tell. At that time, most of the conference, I think the maximum budget Keva section was dealing with was 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs, I don't know, sometimes probably. But this time, we decided that the budget will be 2 crores, which is, that decision is taken with a lot of feelings. And if it doesn't work, things can collapse. But with all the team together, we thought like it should be like that. Let us work towards that. That is how the initial budget was prepared. We had a sponsorship committee. A sponsorship brochure was printed, in which we mentioned what are the benefits sponsors are going to get. Identify the sponsors in various grades. You can also find out, who all will be sponsoring. And you can tell that there will be only one main sponsor. So that's a platinum sponsor. They may have to give 10 lakh rupees. So that, there are some corporates which are looking for the best slot, and they want nobody else to share that platform. So all these things you have to understand. And offer forums for their, you have to also offer forums for their CEOs in some of the major sessions, so that, there will be a support from them also, and they can also expose some of their the activities of the company. And you explore all possibilities. Government departments, so many government departments are sponsoring. Private sponsors, many are there. Study the activities are sponsored and prepare specific custom letter. It's not like you just send a common letter to all the sponsors. Okay, so you have to specifically make some letter, understand what the sponsors' activities are there. Accordingly, you make them, when they read the letter, it should look like this is going to benefit them. That's what we have to tell. For example, if somebody is a manufacturer, you cannot tell that I will give a lot of manpower and things like that. You have to put in some other way. So this is what, and also try to meet the top management. When we are going from IEEE, and IEEE members are, leaders are occupying very good positions, and they will give respect. They will give respect to our request also. And also, you have to negotiate, because when you are saying like platinum is 10 lakh, they may tell like, okay, I have only 7 lakhs. How can you tell? So you have to negotiate with them and come to some conclusion there. Then paper statistics for this, I'm not getting to because I'm running out of time. This is how it happened. Around 1,400 papers from 25 countries we received, and the accepted papers were around 53%, and registered papers around 38. And there were workshops, because this also, start with the workshop. Identify hot topics, because very important. If we can have some additional incremental fee to attend, this can be a good warm-up session for the conference, because this will be one day prior to the actual conference, so that, when workshop is happening, the conference organizers can do a lot of, preparations. If they find something is missing, all those things can be made out during the session. So this is what, one of the photograph of Tengon on the workshop day night. We were anxiously discussing whether many people will come for the conference or not. It's very important. Now today also, 120 registrants or 200 registrants are there. We don't know how many are going to really participate. So these are all anxious moments with us. And you can see the organizing team from all, from all areas, like life members, young professionals, women engineering, all those people were there. So it was one good photo, we got it. and you have to do meticulously planning for the event. You have to imagine how the event is going to happen. You have to be a good story writer, I think. So you have to imagine and then try to list down each one of them. I remember I made so much writing. And then assign these requirements to teams. You are not going to assign and give freedom to those people. You have to identify for flagship conferences, it is better you identify event manager. He is one of the supporter for you. Okay, this is how the 10CON 2019, the call was made. So you have to do good homework on that. We had a lot of bidding process. Then we identify a good person. They have to be reliable, proven economical, and don't give everything to event manager. There are volunteers. They also feel good when you give some responsibilities to them. So assign some of the responsibility which can be handled by volunteers. I remember the transportation by Thomas Sabu, who was the YP section leader there. He had a team and he managed the whole thing. We were not, worried about what is happening, and no glitch were there. Other points, medical emergency. In such conference, you have to make sure that there should be a doctor or a small room where doctor is available. Medical emergencies, because international people are coming. You have to inform local police with the detail who are all attending, who are the foreign participants attending. You have to inform intelligence bureau to foreign delegates, so that when they are coming at the airport also, they will not have much hurdle. When they say that they are going for 10CON 2019, where since we have informed them, they will get a very good easy, the entry permit there. So this is what you have to take care. Then a few moments just before the inauguration day came. So at that time we were waiting for the guest, and so much of issues were there, and we had to solve it. You can see all the people tensed up, so many things to be sorted out and things like that. And finally, the inauguration happened. The inauguration is the key event, and you have to plan very well in advance, because VIPs need at most 3 months notice. So 10CON 29, if you remember, what we did was, first we approached Vice President of India. He has returned back saying like, some inconvenience was there. He was out of country or something like that. Then we approached Mr. Ratan Tata. He replied back saying like, he was traveling at that during that slot. Then we, met the governor of Kerala state, and in that case, you have to follow some protocols. You have to have minute by minute program. A lot of issues or constraints were there. That's what we have to do it. Here, why I'm insisting on inauguration by calling such people is like, last time they will not cancel, most of these people. If you call some of the secretaries and all, IAS secretaries, even ministers, I don't know, IAS secretary, last minute minister calls, the secretary will cancel. They have no other way. So you have to plan in that way. Even that point you have to take care of. Registration kits needs good lead time to print bag and all those things. Mementos, you have to personally look at their spelling of people, drives, abstracts, food coupon, method for easy dispersal. You have to come up with food arrangement, very important, because the success of the conference, one measure is food. So you have to plan this very meticulously, mix of continental and local, and also accommodation arrangement. You have to keep some rooms reserved. At last minute, somebody will come. At that time, if you are helping them, that will add success to the conference. And as an organizer, any member of the organizing committee, you have to move around and solve problems raised at that point itself. Give freedom to people. Personal touch with the attendees. Keep spare vehicles. Fast network you have to provide. Logistics, very important. Cultural events, photo sessions. So all those things you have to take care of. The volunteer, the real volunteer, they are the real heroes. Okay, we are all just telling you do like this, or we are advising, but they are the real heroes. And we had a very good set of volunteers as a life member, YP, and all. So this was the last hour of the conference. You can see all the people were so tired, and that's how so much of energy has been put on that. And the final accounts, I told you, we were dealing with 40 lakhs, 20 lakhs. We had 2 crores we could achieve. That's what I'm telling. If you think big, you will be able to achieve. Our conference room, I'm not giving the actual numbers, it is all of the order of that. And the surplus created was 85 lakhs. So that was the surplus which is created. Okay. So I'm not saying like the conferences are to create money or something. These are all not profit actually. This goes to the section and region 10 and things like that. But the possibilities are this can be used for many other good purposes. And also you have to be very careful. Sponsorship amounts should not be disclosed at various points, because you have to keep little bit on with you, so that the people will still try for more sponsorship and things like that. You have only a few people of highest integrity to deal with this finance. Very important thing. Conferences, the people with very good integrity only should be dealing on that. And summary, team effort. It's a team effort. It's not my effort. Get on as leaders, get on even to ground level, dedicate enough time and efforts. Inclusive decisions will help. It's very important. Keep all members informed. Continuously motivate, volunteer. They are the workforce. And as a person, you cannot do anything. And you have to celebrate success. I think if Dr. Samir is here, he has not celebrated the success. Now we expect that to happen very soon. Okay, so with that, I will close and waiting for the next conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences and letting us draw the much needed guidance from your words on how to organize Flagship. This will surely help us in our future endeavors. We would like to present a small token of appreciation from our side for your very spirited session.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, sir.